Hello and welcome to Neurology Made Easy. Today we will talk about amnesia. So, I have three videos made recently. First, about the limbic system and the Pepys circuit, about memory. Then, I told you about types of memory, the episodic memory, semantic, and procedural, and all the types. And now, I will tell you that amnesia or loss of memory, what are the states, classification of amnestic states or amnesia states. So amnesia can be sudden in onset or short duration. It can be sudden in onset and with gradual incomplete recovery. So it is sudden in onset, but it's not short duration. It is gradual with gradual recovery, and recovery is mostly incomplete. The next is that the onset is subacute with permanent residual deficit. The next and the last is that it's chronic and slowly progressive. Basically, it is this amnesia is slowly progressive, and majority of the times it is like with permanent damage. So, what are the examples of these? In the case of sudden onset with short duration, there can be transient global amnesia. I will make another video on transient global amnesia. The other thing is that temporal lobe seizures. Next can be post concussion states, and the last is hysteria. So in these four conditions, there's loss of memory that is sudden in onset, but it is mostly of short duration. The next is that sudden onset with gradual incomplete recovery. So examples of these are the infarction, hemorrhage, trauma, hypoxia, status epilepticus, and delirium tremens. So I will repeat the causes. There can be infarction, hemorrhage, trauma, hypoxia, status epilepticus, and delirium tremens. The next is subacute onset with some residual deficit, and this residual deficit is mostly permanent. So Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, herpes encephalitis, and TBM, tuberculous meningitis. These are the examples. Next we have chronic. The chronic condition can be Alzheimer's disease, the other brain degenerative diseases. Then we have tumors of the floor and wall of third ventricle, or structures involving the limbic system. Then there can be paraneoplastic conditions such as limbic encephalitis. So all of these conditions, they are slowly progressive and they lead to eventually permanent damage. So these are the four types and the examples: sudden, then sudden onset short duration, sudden onset gradual with gradual recovery, subacute onset, and eventually chronic onset. So these things are important because when a person comes to you in your clinic and you have to take the history, so the duration is very important. The duration, along with it the progression, that okay, when he got that problem and how long he is having this problem. And so these two, onset and progression, are very important in order to focus on few differentials. Otherwise you have a large list of differentials. So to narrow down your differential, you need to know about this. And the other important thing is that then you will focus on these tests instead of going for all the tests from CBC to MRI. You will focus on the tests that are needed. In case of temporal lobe, like you will go for MRI and the EEG. So that's all about for today. See you in the next video.